Okay. Let's talk.
Katie, so I can have mine.
Okay, guys.
Hey, what's up, 745ers? This guy in the ceiling. How you guys feeling?
Super fire.
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 Oh, I don't think
Okay, you wanna
actually.
give a brief
Yeah,
Brief
let's
intro?
talk, guys. First of all, second time recording the pod, hashtag TDs. Technical difficulties.
I see.
Huh?
I see.
Okay. Second of all, we have a special guest today. Super, super special. Miss Isla. She was the founder and the lead of the Women's Affinity group at our school. She knows all things women. She also is one. And she's one of my best friends. And she's really amazing. Yeah, well, this is coming out in March, which is Women's History Month. And so we thought we'd talk a little about women's history. Also, we're a mental health podcast. Women's
That was really clean.
women's mental health. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You want to hit it with the rosebud thorn?
Sure. Rose. Or actually, these cookies. Because
Isla made them, by the way.
I love the Biscoff airplane cookies. I would die for them. These taste exactly like them. Even slightly, maybe even a little better.
Whoa.
Different, but
Better.
yeah, and so yeah.
This is my third cookie.
I probably have 4.
And then my bud I'm looking forward to is my friend from New Hampshire is going to be home soon. I haven't seen him in a little bit, but I do miss him a lot. So we're going to see him and we're going to have a great time. Thorn. It did rain today. Means it's going to rain a lot more later. And it sucks because everything's going to get wet, which I don't like.
Okay.
Except in the ocean when you want to get wet.
Okay.
But yeah.
Sure. My rose is that I finished a book by John Didion, and she talked about Howard Hughes, and I really like the chapter of her book, so I'm gonna read a biography on him. My bud is that I'm looking forward to reading that on him, and my thorn is that the basketball documentary that I'm producing and filming is kind of killing me.
Okay, my rose is the rain. I actually really enjoy it. I can't wait for more. My bud is my upcoming soccer game because I really hope I get played a little more. My thorn is perhaps upcoming quizzes and tests.
Have one
that
tomorrow.
Are occurring.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have the?
Do you have the national?
Wait, we have one tomorrow, or your
history or science? You have a nationalism one?
Wait, you have a history one.
I have a history one.
I
thought you were saying.
I have Miller.
Yeah, so do
does
I.
he.
Oh.
He's not giving us. He's just checking our
He's
notes.
checking our notes.
Okay, whatever. I have a harder class, so whatever. It's fine.
No.
Okay,
no.
I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. Okay. Anyways, let's hit him with the rapid fires.
Rapid fires. Pew 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 pew. You want to go first?
Oh yeah. What's the best advice you've ever received from a woman?
That's a great question.
That's a really fire question. Thank you.
I have an answer. If you want me to go
Go
first,
ahead.
or okay. Well, I think it's definitely from my mom. And she always tells me priorities wise, number one is health and safety.
Right.
But she also says and it's not even a religious sense, but it's just universe sense, but it's God helps those who help themselves. And I think it's just pretty cool because it's saying if you're not actively trying to change, you're choosing not to change.
Right.
So it's change is just not going to happen. You got to make it happen.
I agree. Yeah, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yeah.
How about you?
Just my mom says the universe will whatever's meant to happen will happen, and the universe will make sure your path is never really set. The universe, whatever happens, the universe is willing it to do that, and you just have to trust it.
Okay. Mine is not just because I'm a shorter person, but on average, women are smaller than men, and I don't even think that's the reason why she says it, but she always tells me at least, just because you're smaller, your voice isn't quieter or more quiet. Your voice is just as loud and would be just as much heard. So, yeah.
Preach.
My rapid fire is, well, like, I have my own little niche, like, mental health trick as a guy, and it's kind of like buzz cut, or I guess, like, a little more generally as, like, a cold shower. But, like, what's, like, a niche woman's thing
A niche woman's thing.
for mental health?
For mental health.
Wait, pause.
What was the question?
Your niche
wait.
thing.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
niche
Okay.
thing.
I like to bake when I'm stressed. It's not because it's like calming. It's just like a routine I've started doing over the years when I'm like studying for finals or tests or something. It's just like a routine I get into. I don't know, it helps. Also hot showers.
Yeah.
Burning hot showers.
Burning hot showers. Mine's very similar. I like to go on walks around my neighborhood, and like I don't do it like exactly where it's like silent, like I listen to something, but I like going on walks and then everything shower too, and it has to be scalding hot or whatever. It can't be like I don't think an everything shower can be a cold shower. Sorry. Well, you can have your own everything shower. But that's like hot.
Well, I have like everything days where it's like shower, shave, kind of
Oh, okay.
deal,
Okay.
but like
You don't shave your legs, do you?
no.
That'd be so.
Some swimmers do that.
Some
You
do
swim?
that?
Yes, I do swim, but like
Oh, because it slows you down, definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't do that.
Do you even swim that much anymore, or it's just polo?
Well, it's just water polo, but like we don't do all that like the swimmers. We do
Okay.
swim, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I like that. Anyways, we had like 3 main discussion questions that we wanted to talk about. I know we usually just have 1 with you guys, but because it's special, we thought we'd have 3.
Mhm.
So the first one is, why is women's mental health different and also important?
Okay, so in my opinion, women are like the foundational people in like families, communities. So when they're not like when you aren't prioritizing your mental health, it really affects the other people around you. It affects relationships, like your work, your schoolwork. What's if you play a sport, like it affects your like whole well-being. And women take on a lot, like juggling literally everything, especially women who are caretakers. They do so much. And yeah, that's my starting point if you want to.
Yeah, I looked at it from a more scientific kind of point, where women's mental health is so important because our like hormonal fluctuations are so different from a guy's. Like our just like hormones are just like all over the place. Our menstrual cycle is like 30 days of just like whack crazy. Like every few days it's like a whole different kind of fluctuation, I guess, or like a whole situation that's going on, and so that makes women very unique in that sense. Also, like women are statistically more likely to have certain mental health conditions like PTSD, anxiety, depression, and like we have like postpartum depression, menopause, and pregnancy, which also just changes a bunch of things scientifically, things that you just can't control. So that's why I thought of it as like different and also like important to like talk about.
Yeah.
I guess also like if you like think about it, like since like probably like the primal days, like women and children are the ones to be like looked after. So
Yeah.
because you
Yeah,
guys
they're foundational.
you guys are the ones who are keeping it going.
Mhm.
So
Now I'm gonna bring this to the biggest topic: society. Okay,
Yes.
society. So much pressure on women and girls. How
Yeah.
they should look, how they should act, what should they be doing with their lives, how like should they have families, how many kids should they have? Like, it's actually insane how much pressure they put on women and girls everywhere, and that adds so much extra stress, and it's not good for your mental health. So society, gotta fix that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how we can get into the second question, which is how did like the talk on women's mental health get focused on women, not like scientifically first, but like just like so like oh, like women really stepped up on it, and how did it happen so quickly?
I think the focus on women's mental health happened so quickly because women historically haven't had their voices heard, especially like in healthcare. Like women have struggled emotionally, like throughout time. Everyone has struggled emotionally, but women's emotions were labeled as like hysteria or being too sensitive. You know, people were burned at the stake.
Witches.
oh yeah, the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. Which, like in total in history, it really caused this big gap in understanding and being able to care for women and their mental health. So I think that's a big problem.
Yeah, I was also going to touch on, like, women were more often perceived as emotional, and so when they came out, I think it was just like a more comfortable space for women to be quote-unquote emotional together, or just be more comfortable being emotional. And so when the whole mental health talk started, a lot of women, like, stood up and raised awareness, and now it's gone to such a great point where we can talk about it for men's mental health too, which we have a podcast on that. Go watch that if you haven't already. And that, like, the whole conversation on mental health is so great because it's so hard sometimes like that. And so I think that's why, like, women's mental health got focused on so quickly. Also, just like you said, the hysteria stuff, a lot of mental health issues focused on women in areas because of, like, called hysteria because they were labeled as, like, female conditions, and so they didn't really worry about that until later, so they studied men first for mental health stuff.
Yeah, and once people started talking more openly about mental health, it made sense to start with the group who had been overlooked for so long.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. Next question we had was, how do you think women should combat insecurities for their mental health? This is a bit. She has a good one. Go ahead.
This is good.
Here are my 6 tips for success, everybody. Get ready for this. Okay. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm so proud of you. Stop.
Thank you. Okay. Number 1. It's so important to practice self-compassion, because you have this little mean voice inside of you that's telling you bad things about yourself, and that's not good for you. You really have to learn to be like, hey, like, stand up to that little bully inside of you. Be like, that's actually not cool. I'm actually really great. I'm a really good friend. Like, I'm a really good person. Like, you know, you got to stand up to it. And you also, when you're being mean to yourself, be like, well, I'm not very pretty today. You have to be like, you're actually just being mean to yourself. Like, you wouldn't want to be friends with someone who's being mean to you. If I just went like, Kitty, you look really ugly today.
Oh.
Like, why don't you just leave?
Oh.
You wouldn't want to be friends with someone like that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like, that's...
So then don't tolerate it for yourself. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. Love that. That was number 1.
Numero
Dos.
dos.
Okay.
I do laugh.
And we don't take Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you do.
dos.
Dos. Okay, good.
Dos. It's actually the
Can you
same.
say-
It's the same in Latin.
Okay.
So what's wrong with me?
It's not the same in Chinese.
Okay. Number 2. Practicing gratitude. Now, this is like there's a general idea about practicing gratitude, like being thankful you have a roof over your head and you have food and everything. But this is more specific. Being grateful about the great qualities you have.
Ooh.
Like, you're a really good friend, or like you're really good in this subject. Like, you have to remind yourself of the positives, so the negatives don't just completely take over.
Right.
Like, that's just so important.
3. Trace.
That's the one. Okay. Comparison is so destructive, guys. Like, it's actually, I can't tell you how many times, like, I've seen my friends or my family compare themselves to women. Like, and I've done it too. And it's so destructive, and it doesn't get you anywhere. You have to remind yourself that, like, you are great just the way you are. And that sounds really stupid because everyone says it all the time, but you have to really think about that. Like, you are really great just as you are. Like, you have to start appreciating yourself. And if you're, like, watching videos on social media or something and, like, seeing all these people with, like, these idealistic standards, like get off of it. Get off of it. Like, there's really no point, and you're just making yourself go through that. Like, you can choose to be like, you know, I'm gonna stop subjecting myself to that.
Yeah, anything you're not changing, you're choosing.
Mm-hmm. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Truly.
Thank you. That is true.
1, 2, 3,
Cuatro.
Cuatros. Cuatros.
Un, deux, trois, quatre. Is that?
Quat,
1,
cinq.
2, 3, 4.
No, that's French.
Yeah.
Un,
Un,
deux,
deux,
trois.
quat, cinq.
Quatre. Un,
I
deux,
I have
trois.
a 430-day
Yep,
streak on
okay.
Duolingo for French.
Okay. So.
Okay.
No, she said okay.
Oh.
All right.
Number 4.
Number 4. Support system.
Yes.
One of the greatest assets you can ever have in life. People who care about you and will be there for you when you're going through those tough times. Like, and when you're going through those tough times, you will really see who those people are. So, like, your close friends.
Aww.
That one right there.
Isla, I thought we were besties. What's going on?
No.
Bummer.
Like, your parents, like, teachers, anyone who cares about you. Like, they are your support system. That's so important to be able to talk about things with other people, and just knowing people are there for you, like, no matter what.
When we first filmed this episode, I really like what you said about how they will come in when you're in a real time of need, and the people who don't show up obviously aren't your support system. And you don't have to just say like, oh, you, and you are all my support system. It'll come when it comes, and it's like a more natural thing. But I like what you said about that.
Yeah. Is this number 5?
Yes. Uno,
Uno,
dos,
dos,
tres,
wait, no.
cuatro,
Un, dos,
cinco.
trois, quatre,
Sink.
Sink.
Wait, what was the first one? What was number 4 you said?
Number 4 is cuatro in Spanish, and quat
I'm
in
talking French.
French.
Wait. Okay, this is 5 then?
Je
Okay.
m'appelle Isla.
Yeah.
Je m'appelle Katie.
Je m'appelle Zach.
Okay, guys, this is you got to listen up to this one, because this is something I learned recently, and it's actually really important. Got to protect your peace.
Yes.
And I don't mean just like if someone's mean to you, you cut them off completely, because that's just irresponsible. That's immature.
Yeah.
Like, no. You set boundaries. That's a responsible thing to do. Like, if someone says something triggering to you, like a friend, and you don't just be like, I just can't talk to them anymore. They said that once, now they're just going to say it again. Well, they won't if you say something to them.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, hey, so this actually hurt my feelings when you said that, and I appreciate if you didn't say that again.
Yeah.
And if they're truly your friend, they're going to respect your boundaries. If they don't,
then that's an issue.
that's where we got to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the protect your peace thing, it's a lot, especially for friendships, it's a lot quality over quantity. I would rather have, like, only these people, and they're really good quality, than, like, a bajillion million people who are all, like, bad nuts.
Well, because then you just have a bajillion people.
You don't have friends.
You don't even have bajillion friends. You just have a bajillion people.
Hi,
So.
baby. Hello.
Yeah, Julio came to visit, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Guys, I love dogs so much you don't understand.
Teet.
Baby. Oh my gosh, you're so cute.
He's such a people pleaser.
I know, he literally loves the attention.
I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna take him home with me when I leave. And
Yes.
you're not gonna see it. I'll put him in my little purse. Okay.
Number 6.
Number 6.
So number 8.
Un, deux, trois, quatre, sept, six.
Six.
I was about to say
I
that.
think it's like 6 or C or something.
Okay. So, lastly, some people might not agree with this, and that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But I believe that therapy is a great way to work through insecurities and build some really healthy thought patterns. It's really beneficial to talk to someone without judgment. And if you don't have access to therapy, school counselors, I've been to a few.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I'm not in therapy, but my mom is a therapist, so I'm learning a lot about it. I actually because I used to actually have like the wrong opinion about therapy. I used to think it was like sort of about like how to fix your problems, and I was thinking like I would rather like pour myself out to like a close friend rather than like a random stranger who might not like understand. But then I realized it's not like about like fixing them. It's just like sort of like dealing with like your emotions and just sort of like having a place to like talk about yourself.
Or even learning healthy ways to deal with like stress and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a great 6-step situation.
So those are
I love
6 tips to success, guys. Gotta use them.
Mine were a great balance of self-love and self-awareness, or not even self-love, but just like self-respect in general. I think you really have to like see yourself as like, I think it's sometimes easier to see yourself as like a friend, because you wouldn't let somebody treat your friend that way. Don't let somebody treat you that way. If it's a negative way. But at the same time, I think self-awareness and being able to be humble and like show some humility is also really important. So I think a really good balance of that will help you.
Nice.
Anything for you, Mr.
Like,
Woodman?
Mr. On like how to combat insecurities.
Yeah, even for a guy.
And for a guy, well, I think a lot of it is just like situational, like I've said, like the situation flip sort of.
Yeah.
And like also like I have like a resume of sort of like things like that I just know I'm capable of in my head. And so it's like kind of nice to just know that you have like actual evidence of things you've did or have done that like kind of just like prove you're awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Like my like one I think about a lot is like one time I went on this hike in like Yosemite, so it was already like really high up, and it took us like 8 hours, and it was like I think it was like 8 miles long and 2 miles high. And when we got to the top, literally like you couldn't have gone any higher. Like literally, I swear, like you could, and if you fell, that's it. You're not coming back. You're not coming back. But yeah, that's something I'm like really proud of, and I actually did it with my best friend. So that's and so that's something I'm proud of and something I think about. So having a little like memory resume is optimal for me. I think a lot of guys probably rather do that.
Yeah.
I think in general, like when you're thinking bad things about yourself, you have to go, where is your proof? Because a lot of the time it's literally just in your mind.
Yeah.
Like like the feelings you're having are so real, but the fact isn't. Like like that's your
Not
feelings
true.
are totally valid, but the fact just isn't. Like you need your proof.
Yeah.
Where's your proof?
I
Do you have proof?
I don't
No.
I don't mean to be all like school and sciencey and whatnot, but
CR.
like I CR,
I was literally thinking that.
claim evidence.
I was gonna say that because I was gonna sound too
Reasoning.
nerdy, but
Yeah.
I'm glad
but-
she said it, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I think I think girls might do this too. I mean, it could be like in a negative way, the way it's like about comparison, but like for me, like I look at like people in like movies or something, and I'm like, whoa, I should just try and embody them, like not be like copy by copy that person, but like Zach's interpretation of that person.
Yeah, I used to think a lot like if I'm not really good at this thing, like if I'm like meeting new people and stuff, I'm gonna channel a person who's really good at making friends.
Yeah.
Like my oldest sister, I'm gonna channel her. I'm gonna be like, and it works. Like guys, trust, it works. Like once because if you've seen someone else do it, and you're like, wait, that worked really well, and you just embody that, and you have that confidence, you're good. You're
Perfection.
set. It's good.
Visualization is a really powerful tool.
Manifestation. Love manifestation, guys.
Love that.
Love it.
Did you have a question you want to ask?
Oh,
We asked this on the Young Men's Mental Health. Well, we're gonna switch it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
If there's what would you want to say to someone who's not a woman about women's mental health? Or understanding women's mental health, I guess.
I think the reminder, just in general, for like people, you have to remember to be kind, because people like they have feelings. They like not just women. Like everybody is a sensitive person. Like you can't just be rude to everybody and be like, yeah, but that's just my personality. It's not your personality, my friend. It's not your personality. It's the principle. It's the principle. Like everyone has feelings. Everyone is human. Imagine if someone was saying all that stuff to you. You'd be like, oh, I don't care. You do care. Everybody cares. That's what makes us human.
There's no need to act nonchalant about it. Like, I think being comfortable in that, it just shows so much more strength than you might think. So
I cannot say preach enough. I cannot say preach enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got a winner.
I feel like the like undefined definition of like chalantness should be like opposite of nonchalant in the sense where you don't hide like happiness or joy
you're
or
not
anything.
trying to fit in.
Exactly, like because I feel like nonchalant, like you can tell. You would say someone's like nonchalant when they're like someone's like at a birthday party and they're like, oh yeah, whatever.
And
like
they're acting like they don't care. But the thing is, everybody cares.
It's
they
okay
do
to
really
care.
It's
Exactly.
not cool not to care.
Exactly.
Everybody cares, and that's one of the greatest parts of being human.
Okay.
Great, beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, to recap, guys, the best advice we've all heard from women is that just because you're smaller doesn't mean you're less heard.
The
world will put you in
the
places.
universe will
is looking out for you.
Yeah, the universe is looking out for you.
And then
You gotta help
niche
yourself.
things is like he buzzes his head, cold showers, everything shower, baking, walking. That's the vibe. Discussion question: women's mental health is important because we're central to like the foundations of society, communities, families, hormonal fluctuations. We just have a bunch of other niche health things that like definitely influence our mental health and our emotions. Women were more perceived as like hysterical and emotional, so that's how I got kind of moved to women so quickly, even though it was studied for mental health. And then women to combat insecurities, support system, protecting your peace, therapy, self-confidence, gratitude, and self-compassion and gratitude. And what was the sixth one?
I will have to count. Self-compassion,
self-compassion,
gratitude, comparison, no comparison,
support system,
protecting your peace, and
therapy. And then self-awareness and self-respect. What was yours?
Mine was just embody.
Oh yeah, embody
who you want to be.
Yes.
But while still being yourself.
Yeah, and build that cool resume.
Visualization, manifestation, and being sensitive is a good thing. Being vulnerable is a strong thing.
To care is to be cool.
To care is to be cool. keep on keeping on, guys.
Keep on
Thank you
keeping
so much
on.
for listening.
Thank you.
Happy Women's History Month.
Happy Women's History Month. Bye bye.